Hi everyone, welcome to this Smart Charts European session. Hope you're all well, ready for another fantastic week in trading the financial markets. We started off the beginning of the month last week with a bit more of a quieter market flow in the currency market. We had pockets of trends, mainly on the Japanese yen pairs that we were trading at the beginning of the week, and had some nice phase changes, nice momentum trends there that were developing. But they came to an end towards the end of the week. And then we had pockets of trends on the faster time frames, mainly around commodity currencies like the New Zealand dollar and the Aussie dollar, which was relatively weak. And we had a lot more markets that came to end of trends last week, trading more vol reversals, trend reversals in the currency market, as we had the high impact news announcements regarding the US dollar and lots of employment figures coming out, with actually the unemployment rate ticking a bit higher in the news release on Friday. Okay, so currency market still waiting for some of these big themes to develop, and some very big economic themes developing this week, and so something to be mindful of. Of course, with US stock indices still trading at record highs, some European stock indices like the German 40, so we've had a lot of really great opportunities there. So continuing to look at those markets as well, and just benefit from being a multi-asset class trader where, all the money's got to be flowing into somewhere. Okay, if the money's not flowing into the currency market, it's probably flowing into the stock market, or might be flowing into the commodity market. So giving yourself a chance to actually find where that opportunity is and where those flows are. And this week is going to be a big one. Okay, so Monday starts off relatively quiet, no high impact news announcements, but we have 4 central bank news announcements coming out this week. We have the RBA interest rate statement on Tuesday, widely expected, no changes in interest rate policy. However, we've got the Bank of Canada rate statement on Wednesday, the Swiss National Bank policy rate on Thursday, and the European Central Bank refinancing rate on Thursday, and every single one of those central banks is forecasted to cut interest rates. So this will be interesting to see if there's any surprises. Okay, are they going to cut interest rates even more than the market is expecting, or are they going to surprise the market and keep them on hold? Some central banks, like the Bank of Canada, are notorious in actually surprising the market. Okay, so it could be quite interesting this week. So be careful with the volatility, expected to be pretty high with all these central bank news announcements. So again, core focus on risk management. We know this game is about winning and losing. Understanding the risks involved, absolutely essential. So risk managing the trading account is first and foremost. Okay. We also have the US inflation figures on Wednesday, which is a big one for currency traders, because inflation, which measures the change in the price of goods and services, is a huge measurement of consumer spending and activity. And it's a metric that is used by central banks to determine interest rate policy. So that could give us some really good insight into what the Federal Reserve could be thinking in the future. And the US dollar does need a bit of direction, because it's been the strongest currency and weakest currency over the past several weeks since the US presidential election at the beginning of November. Okay, so we've had really big trends there in the US dollar, big rally up and a big rally down, and now it's consolidating. So it needs a bit more of a theme to get behind it. So let's see if this is going to be the week for that. All right. So as we go through these European Asia session webinars this week, we'll be going into these news announcements in a bit more detail, see if there's any potential trading opportunities around them. For now, let's dive into smart charts. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so if we look at the tools tab here, so something that we can see, a pretty common theme that we have been seeing since last week, Japanese yen relatively strong. Okay, so that was actually exactly the same as the first few days of last week, where the Japanese yen was strong, and then at the beginning of the week we had some really good phase changes, okay, to the downside on many of the yen pairs, Euro yen, CAD yen, Swiss yen, all sort of trending lower. So when those yen pairs go down, the yen is strengthening, right? When the exchange rate falls, the base currency is weakening, terms currency is strengthening. So we had a lot of good opportunity in the Japanese yen. I mean, let's see if we do get some continuation this week in those yen pairs again. But we had a big correction there at the end of the week, bit of profit taking, and so we've lost the cycle formations on the 4-hour chart, and we've got into a daily phase 2. But let's see if we get another daily phase 1 moving lower, and then maybe some good continuation on the 4-hour chart and below as the week unfolds. Okay, so let's see how that unfolds. Again, weakness in the commodity currencies, something that we highlighted last week. If you're trading the faster time frames, we had some good cycles there on the way to the downside, good time frame agreement. In particular, the New Zealand dollar pairs, there's a big theme there. So let's see if we get some continuation in those commodity currencies there on the intraday charts as well. Okay, and we've seen a bit of strength there as well in the likes of the British pound, which has been pretty perky, hasn't it, over the past several weeks. But the moves have been quite big and quite sharp that sometimes the trend is too strong, okay, for any time frames. And we've just had a lot of pound pairs, in particular against the commodity currencies, that just shot higher and didn't really give us any clues to participate in. The trend was just too strong, okay. So sometimes that can happen as well. And so again, when you're starting off your day, okay, we look at the currency strength index, so we can actually identify what is strong, what is weak. If you're a trend trader on the intraday chart, you want to try to continue trading those currency pairs that are strong and the ones that are weak. And if you're a medium to high time frame trader, then you might be looking for reversals, okay, because what is really strong, what is really weak, at some point those trends will sort of come to an end as well. So again, useful information for us. Now, from a technical analysis standpoint, a couple of things that have been highlighted on London and Sydney trading floors. Let's have a look, click on the charts tab, and something has been highlighted here from the market breakout strategy. Now, the market breakout strategy is a very versatile strategy that utilizes moving averages, the yellow line and blue line, and fractals as well. And it's one strategy that can actually help to identify and trade multiple different types of conditions, trends, different types of ranges, and consolidations as well, okay. So I like to use the moving averages, okay, and I like to trade in a moving average zone, and that's basically being on the yellow line, on the blue line, or anywhere in between that. Now, not everyone likes to use moving averages. That's completely fine. There's many different technical tools out there. You can find the ones that sort of gel with you, okay. But I love the market breakout strategy because it's and the moving averages on it, because it just gives me a focus, okay. So I like to trade in a moving average zone because I can just say to myself, okay, well look, I'm in between the yellow line and blue line, and you know what? Last time buyers did turn up here before, okay. So maybe there's a chance they could turn up here again today. All right. So just like here, okay. All right. Well, sellers turn up in this moving average zone before. Well, maybe sellers could turn up here again today, right? So it just gives me a focus. Now, of course, just because buyers and sellers turn up in the zone before doesn't mean to say they're going to turn up there again. Sometimes it's just going to break through, okay. But then this is why we also look for other technical tools to sort of line up in the same place as well, and try to stack those technical tools in our favor. So we can also see here with pound US is that we're also coming down to test this low point here, and what we may get is that kind of double bottom formation that we had here, which then drove the market higher. So we've got another sort of support level here, so another layer of confluence developing in the market. And what you may also find is we do have this angle of price that we're sitting on here, where you can see this bar did actually break through it because there was a news announcement there, all right. But again, it rallied back up, didn't it? All right. And so we've got an angle of price where price has been rejecting it. So what do we have? A confluence of support areas all lining around the same place. So on top of helping to identify potential trading opportunities, okay, across different time frames, is the 1 hour chart. And if you're not familiar with how Smart Charts is helping you, then make sure you're utilizing all the resources and materials available to you, all your e-learning materials in the Learn tab, all your online classes, workshops, webinars, boot camps, and live events tab, all your coaching sessions, lots of resources available to support you in your trading. But it also helps with the risk management work, which of course is the most important side of trading the markets. If we click that up arrow, Smart Charts will populate an entry price at the blue dot, stop loss at the red dot, target the green dot, do all your percentage risk, reward to risk, currency conversion calculations, which can all be adjusted according to your own user preferences, of course. Just really important to keep the risk low, make sure you're able to deal with the random distributions of wins and losses that develop throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month. And then I like to set an expiry. So for this particular time frame and strategy, so we'll give it up to the US session to see if there's any flows, and then we can redo it again in the US session and see if there's anything going on there. All right, so we'll give it around 6 hours or something, and then reconvene in the US session and see if what the landscape is like, and then there might be other opportunities to participate in, and then just decline or accept the trade here at the bottom. Okay, and what that means is if buyers turn up in the European session and go for the entry level, trigger into a live open trade, then it'll go either to the target level or the stop loss level. So either be a winning trade or a losing trade. But if buyers don't turn up and go to the entry level, then this pending trade will expire. Didn't win, didn't lose, didn't cost anything. Okay. All right, that's it from me. I'm going to wish you all the best for your trading. I'll speak to you next time. Bye for now.